Welcome to RCR Wireless News. I'm Martha DeGrasse, and I'm joined today by Jessica Firestone. She is founder and CEO of Tempest Telecom, and we're talking with her today as part of our Women in Wireless Leadership series. Jessica, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you, Martha, for having me.
I'd like to start off by hearing about how and why you founded Tempest Telecom.
Okay, well, I founded Tempest Telecom in 2005. I had left the telecom industry actually after about 6 years in 2002. Took a few-year break with my first child being young, and also just got involved with some entrepreneurial areas outside of telecom. In 2005, I actually decided I really enjoyed telecom. I really liked the technology side of things, and I had people that wanted to work together again. I also saw a niche or need in the business, looking at the larger carriers especially, to found a women-owned business in telecom. So that was kind of my interest in getting back together and getting the company founded, and that was in 2005.
Sounds good. Now, I know that Tempest is focused now on equipment and DAS particularly, and that you resell a lot from the major OEMs. Is that how you started, or has it evolved over the years?
It's definitely been an evolution. When we founded Tempest, we originally were going to do what we did in the past with Samara Communication, where we bought the network equipment coming out of the carriers that were moving quicker on the technology side, refurbish it and resell it. When we founded Tempest, we started in that business, but quickly saw that there was a need not only to buy and sell that equipment, but also to maintain the older networks that were coming off of manufacturer warranty and needed another solution. So the first step to Tempest was beyond equipment sales, was that we founded the repair division of Tempest, and that's actually based in Carrollton, Texas, and we are working with both telco, wireless carriers, and also actually the private network space, doing repair of out-of-warranty network equipment on, base station, microwave, data, transport, optical equipment, and power. And that's also a big part of our business. So that kind of went on for a few years, and then actually, I believe it was about 2 years ago, we were looking for an area to grow and develop the company. And so my philosophy, you go to your customers and find out what they need. And a lot of them were asking for help in DAS deployment and distributed antenna systems. So our best customers were asking for help and needed help, and that became the area that we saw as a really, really important need. And so in 2011, we actually went and acquired a company in the space called Leaf Communications. And they had a great reputation. They were very much a West Coast company, but great technical expertise and a great team. And then we took that and we decided to really work with our carriers, find out where they needed the most help, and start to roll out more of a national product and service offering for DAS. So DAS became a big part of our company as well, and that's gone on. The other area, just to not overlook, is because you kind of think of us as now today we're legacy support. So that's repair and support of the older equipment as well as equipment supply. The DAS and small cell is a big part of our services and solutions. And we've got a new product area of the business, which right now the biggest product we're focused on there is AirAssist. And AirAssist is an energy efficient air conditioning solution for shelters. We're working very closely with some of the major carriers who have huge needs to reduce energy, become more sustainable, and also reduce cost. So those are kind of the areas of the business that we're in and how it evolved.
So can you talk a little bit about some of the trends that you're seeing with your DAS business? It sounds like you work primarily for carriers, not for enterprise customers, right?
Right. Well, here's the thing with DAS. So we work, our biggest customers are the major carriers, but actually we're starting to work very closely with the tower companies who are in partnership with the carriers. Some of those would be, your American Tower, Crown Castle, Mobility, some of those kind of companies. So we work both with the carriers and those companies. We also support some of the OEMs who are, manufacturing the DAS product. Your CommScopes, TE, Corning Mobile Access companies like that. On the enterprise space, the actual play there is public safety. So public safety DAS is actually becoming a mandate in certain geographies where the larger commercial spaces need to put this indoor DAS in for the emergency responders, the E911, fire and police. And so we're doing on the enterprise side, we're doing more public safety actually, DAS, which is also an expertise that Tempest has developed. And is a very, very niche area where we can support the enterprise carriers as well as, yeah.
Very important work. And that is often funded by municipalities or state governments. Is that how that works?
That's a little bit of a tricky question, but no, I mean, actually, a lot of times the buildings do have to put the 911, I'm sorry, the public safety DAS in themselves. Sometimes the carriers put it in as part of an overall solution. I've done a good job of sort of delegating the DAS division to Darlene Braunschweig, and so if I get too technical here, I'm going to have to defer to her on some of the funding questions.
Okay, well, that's a good segue into the work you've done mentoring other women within your organization. Can you tell us a little bit about how you have developed the careers of several women at Tempest Telecom?
Sure. I mean, I think that first of all, I love seeing women in technology because it really has been a man's world. So, I mean, inside of my own organization, a lot of the work. First of all, even sometimes, meeting women out there that seem to have that spark of their fire, or passion that I think would work well in the company, bringing them in and then training them to learn the business and take on roles where they can grow into leaders is an important part of what I do. And I think that they really like seeing a woman run a business because it gives them inspiration that they can someday grow into that kind of a position, and to see a strong woman in a leadership role is inspiring to them. So I try to spend time with the women in the company. I mentor all my employees, but I try to spend time with the women and really, teach them how to do, the things that will really help them grow their career and compete in an industry that's full of men. I've also been in diversity events where I've spoken about Tempest and about the women-owned business aspect, and I've had a lot of women approach me even after the event or on phone calls and ask for my guidance on how to sort of bring their business into these different companies. So I'd say a lot of internal, but definitely there's been some external mentoring as well.
And where are you seeing some opportunities now for some of these women that are trying to find a niche and get started in telecom or wireless?
I think it's really my biggest guidance is actually, yes, being a diversity company is really key for getting the right contacts and making the right introductions. But I think you really have to study the business. You have to go in as a financially strong, very capable company with execution, technical expertise, and build your reputation. If you go in only with that women-owned as your lead, it's not going to get you where you need to be. So in terms of areas, wireless more on the LTE, 4G, DAS, small cell is probably some of the areas on the telecom side. But it's really a matter of getting close to the customers and finding out where they need the help, and building internally, really working with the engineers and the purchasing and really getting their trust and learning where you can help.
Right. Now, you do a lot with equipment repair. Are you starting to already see repair going on a lot for the 4G LTE equipment, or is it more legacy equipment still?
I'd say the 4G LTE is still in a place where it's not coming off warranty yet, or if it is, there's extended warranty agreements. I do think that you have to keep your eyes open because it'll happen quickly. But as the carriers are focused more on LTE and 4G and DAS and small cell, that's where we are really seeing more of a need to support the carriers on the 3G and older gear for the base station equipment, of course. But also there's other parts of the network that there's a need for support as well.
Okay, great. And then before we finish, I would like to get your thoughts on power use at the cell sites. I know that Aerosys is specifically designed to help carriers save on utility bills and power costs, and I think that's maybe turning into more of a pain point for carriers, but I'd like to hear your perspective on that.
So my perspective, and again, I have a great person running that division from a day-to-day basis, but what I've seen, and originally we were approached by a specific carrier whose initiative was we need to save, reduce our energy consumption. Sustainability is a huge focus across the carriers. I would say the larger carriers, but even some of the rurals and mid-size. We need to reduce our energy consumption and be a more sustainable company. So a lot of the older equipment that's in the cell sites and in the network they suck a lot of energy. And so if you look at a solution like Aerosys, getting an Aerosys box into your shelter, you're not only going to save cost of running that because of the spend on the energy, but you also are going to become a more sustainable solution. So ERIS's value is to support the carriers to be more sustainable, but also to save them a lot of operational costs. And once they see the ROI, they're very, very interested in the solution. And where it's installed, our customers have been extremely happy with that.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Jessica. I really appreciate you joining us today.
Absolutely, Martha. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you.
See you again soon.
Okay, bye-bye.